Just one small mistake when placing salt in your home could drain your wealth and invite negative energy that attacks your entire family. Many families believe that placing salt around the house is an easy way to cleanse negative energy. But in reality, if you put it in the wrong spot, salt not only loses its effect, it can actually attract bad energy. This can mess with your sleep, harm your health, and cause money to silently slip away. Some spots that may seem safe, like under the bed, in the middle of the room, or near electronic devices, are actually energy traps. Salt in those places can turn into a magnet for misfortune, throwing off the energy balance of your home and quietly affecting your entire family's luck without you even realizing it. So in this video, I am going to point out the exact places where you should never place salt. If you put salt in the wrong spot, it can attract bad energy and destroy the flow of wealth in your home. And before we get started, go ahead and drop a positive affirmation in the comments below. My home is always filled with positive energy and attracts wealth. And do not forget to subscribe to Feng Shui Keys right now so you will not miss out on the powerful Feng Shui keys that bring wealth, health, and good fortune into your home. So, which areas in your home should absolutely never have salt placed in them? Let's take a closer look so you can avoid unnecessary misfortunes and protect the wealth and health of your entire family. The first location, right in the center of the living room. Many people believe that placing salt in the center of the living room or other spacious areas is convenient and easy to monitor. But this is actually a common mistake that often goes unnoticed. Salt has the ability to absorb and hold on to imbalanced energy in the home, everything from moisture and dust to stagnant or heavy energy trapped in your living space. However, when salt is placed in a central location, that energy is not contained. Instead, it spreads throughout the area, canceling out the purifying effect that salt is supposed to provide. A space that once felt open and airy suddenly becomes heavier. The energy flow in the room becomes disrupted, and the peaceful, relaxing atmosphere that your family needs starts to fade. Even the good energy that is supposed to flow in from outside can get blocked, leading to a reverse effect. Positive energy is unable to circulate, while negative energy spreads to other parts of the home. On top of that, the center of the living room is often the main area for family activities, where light, movement, and temperature constantly change. Salt placed here is easily disturbed, knocked over, or altered in shape over time. Once the salt becomes physically unstable, the energy it absorbs also becomes scattered, which reduces its ability to hold and balance the energy in the room. A space that should be calm and balanced ends up feeling chaotic, affecting daily activities like conversations, working, studying, or even just relaxing. At the same time, this unstable energy can create a quiet sense of pressure or discomfort, which many people feel without realizing where it's coming from. The center of the living room is also where energy flows most actively. Positive energy passes through this area all the time. Placing salt in the middle is like placing an obstacle in the middle of a natural stream, blocking the smooth flow and allowing bad energy to circulate back into the space. Over time, this imbalance affects not only your family's sense of calm and concentration, but also has an indirect impact on your financial luck and ability to attract positive opportunities. Your living space should bring you comfort, inspiration, and balance. But when salt is placed incorrectly, all of that disappears, leaving your home lacking in positive energy and quietly affected by negative forces that can hurt your mental well-being, your health, and your prosperity. The second location, under the bed. Many people think that placing salt under the bed where it is hidden will silently absorb bad energy from the living space. But in reality, this is an extremely sensitive location that can create the exact opposite effect. When we sleep, the human body continuously releases energy, especially from the head and upper body, which are in direct contact with the energy field around us. Salt placed right under the bed ends up absorbing some of this energy, making your sleeping area feel heavier, more stressful, and lacking the balance that your body needs. These effects are not visible, but over time, they start to interfere with your sleep. You might feel more tired, wake up irritated, or find yourself mentally drained and tense without a clear reason. The space under the bed is usually closed off, poorly ventilated, but closest to the body while you sleep. Salt placed in that spot constantly absorbs surrounding energy, but has no way to release or neutralize it. This creates a dense energy field that directly impacts your body. As a result, your personal energy field starts to feel weighed down, making it harder for you to fully relax and recharge overnight. Not to mention, the area under the bed often collects dust, pet fur, or forgotten personal items, making the salt lose its cleansing effect even faster and causing the room to feel stuffy or uncomfortable in a physical sense as well. Plus, placing salt under the bed affects the entire flow of energy in the space. Instead of absorbing and neutralizing bad energy, the salt starts to scatter the energy, disrupting the balance and spreading heavy energy to nearby areas. As a result, the room no longer feels light or restful, and the person using it may struggle to focus or properly recover from a long day. This is why the area under the bed is considered one of the worst places to put salt if you want to keep your home peaceful, balanced, and full of positive energy. The third location, near electrical devices. Some people think it is convenient to place salt near electrical devices like televisions, air conditioners, or power outlets, thinking it will be easier to monitor and care for. But in reality, this location carries hidden risks. Electronic devices constantly release energy waves and vibrations. They also generate heat while operating, which makes salt lose the stability it needs to properly absorb and balance negative energy. When salt is constantly exposed to electromagnetic waves and rising temperatures, its crystal structure begins to shift, reducing its cleansing power. As a result, the area around it becomes more tense and unstable, creating a quiet but persistent pressure that affects everyone nearby. Even worse, placing salt near electrical equipment distorts the energy in that area in a very specific way. Instead of gathering and containing negative energy, the salt acts like a disturbance amplifier, creating clashing energy flows between devices and their surroundings. This turns an area that should feel calm and focused into a space filled with subtle, chaotic vibrations, making it harder to concentrate, easier to get stressed, and nearly impossible to relax. This is not something you can see with the naked eye, but over time, the energy imbalance becomes more obvious in how people feel and behave. Looking at the bigger picture, placing salt near electronics not only affects that immediate space, but also disrupts the energy balance of your entire home. Positive energy, which is supposed to flow naturally, gets blocked. Meanwhile, bad energy is not absorbed, but instead spreads to nearby areas. Eventually, this leads to a home that may look physically clean, but feels energetically out of balance. From a long-term perspective, this location prevents salt from doing its job of cleansing and protecting the home, and it weakens the overall atmosphere of ease, lightness, and emotional comfort for the whole family. That is why areas near electrical devices are considered a place where salt should absolutely not be placed if you want to get the full benefit of its energy balancing powers. The fourth location, where young children or pets can easily reach. Spaces where small children or pets can easily access are naturally full of movement, curiosity, and constant change. These areas are where play, exploration, and unpredictable behaviors happen all the time, whether it's jumping around, climbing, or messing with nearby objects. Salt placed in these locations is very likely to be disturbed, spilled, or even end up sticking to other items. When salt is physically altered this way, its structure and ability to absorb negative energy are compromised. As a result, the salt loses its effectiveness and cannot do the job of balancing energy as intended. Instead of helping the surrounding space, it can make things more chaotic, turning the area into an unstable and unpredictable energy zone. In addition, children and pets naturally influence their surroundings through daily activity, moving objects, changing light and sound patterns, or affecting the temperature through constant movement and nearby devices. These factors make it harder for the salt to maintain its cleansing effect over time. The energy in these areas becomes less stable, harder to harmonize, and more unpredictable. Some spots may still hold stagnant energy, while others are blocked, creating a kind of energetic confusion that the eye cannot see, but the body can definitely feel. On a larger scale, placing salt in such dynamic areas affects the flow of energy throughout the house. When salt is constantly disrupted by movement and environmental changes, positive energy cannot flow freely. Meanwhile, negative energy is not collected but scattered into nearby spaces. Over time, this leads to a loss of balance in the room and surrounding areas, reducing the ability to maintain a safe, comfortable, and harmonious environment. That is why spaces that children or pets can easily access are considered absolutely unsuitable for placing salt, especially if you want to keep the natural energy of your home stable and supportive. Now that you understand the places where you should absolutely never place salt, you can see how even a small mistake can cause energy imbalances and affect the atmosphere of your home. But do not worry, there are still golden spots where, if salt is placed correctly, it can purify your space, allow positive energy to flow, and naturally attract good fortune and wealth. The first location, the wealth corner of your home. In applied Feng Shui, the southeast corner of a home is considered the area that governs the flow of wealth, prosperity, and all financial-related matters, such as investments, business opportunities, and long-term growth. When the energy in this area becomes stagnant due to clutter, dust, or neglected corners, the positive flow of financial energy also slows down. A bowl of salt, placed in just the right spot in the southeast corner, can help restart that flow like unlocking a door that has been shut for too long. Salt, known for its purity and powerful absorption, acts like a foundation that helps financial energy take root, reducing energy leakage and creating a stable environment for money-related plans to thrive. You do not need anything complicated or flashy. A clean glass bowl filled with salt, a little water, and a few real metal coins such as copper or silver can already create a balanced environment between the elements of metal, water, and earth. This combination is not just symbolic, it has real, physical effects. Salt absorbs moisture and keeps the area dry. Metal conducts energy to help it flow naturally, and water promotes movement to prevent the energy from becoming stagnant. Placed in a clean, quiet corner where it can interact with the space without being disturbed, this bowl of salt works quietly in the background, like a patient gatekeeper, not loud or showy, but always there to keep the financial energy in your home grounded and stable. Having salt in this area also helps smooth out invisible tensions in the home, especially when financial worries, unstable income, or outside pressures start to affect the family's mood. A living space with steady financial energy brings peace of mind to everyone, reduces unnecessary stress, and helps people make wiser decisions in work and life. That is why refreshing the southeast corner with a properly placed bowl of salt does more than attract wealth. It anchors a sense of emotional safety, decision-making confidence, and calmness in the face of life's modern-day chaos. The second location, to the left of the main entrance. In Feng Shui, every position around your main door holds a specific energy role. The left side of the front door, as seen from inside the house looking out, is known as the green dragon side. It symbolizes action, initiative, and the flow of strong yang energy entering the home. When you place a small bowl of salt in this area, what you are doing is setting up a filter for energy right at the entry point. Salt does not repel, it regulates. It absorbs unstable vibrations that may come along with outside energy and smooths out the energy as it enters your space. Unlike placing it in the center of a room which blocks flow, placing salt to the left helps modulate that flow, like adding a gentle shock absorber to a fast-moving current, so the rest of the house stays in balance. The left side of the entrance is also a spot that tends to get neglected. Since most people naturally move toward the right, the left often gets ignored, cleaned less frequently, or treated as an afterthought. As a result, this side is more likely to hold stale or heavy energy, both literally and energetically. A bowl of salt placed at just the right moment acts like a natural energy sensor. No wires, no gadgets, just salt doing its job silently, pulling in stagnant energy and keeping this side of the entrance from becoming a weak link in your home's energy flow. When this area is clean, clear, and has a simple filter like salt, energy flows into your home more smoothly, reducing that invisible fatigue or heaviness you might feel when stepping inside. Many people focus on the door itself, the welcome mat, or even the door color, but forget that it is the spaces beside the door where energy first slides into your home. A bowl of salt on the left side might seem like a small detail, but it makes a big difference. It is not decorative, not flashy, just there to quietly do its job. Just like all natural movement needs balance, this position helps regulate the pace of energy so your home is not overwhelmed by anything too harsh, too fast, or too unstable. The purpose of placing salt here is not to ward off bad spirits. It is to give good energy a reason to stay longer, more gently, like a polite and intentional invitation into your home. The third location, the bedroom. The bedroom is the one space in your home where people spend nearly 1/3 of their lives not working, not entertaining guests, but resting, recharging, and restoring. That is why every single element in this space needs to be thoughtfully considered, from lighting and color to how energy moves through the room. When placed correctly, salt in the bedroom acts like an invisible filter, absorbing excess energy in subtle vibrations that your eyes might not notice, but your body definitely feels, especially during sleep. In bedrooms that stay closed for too long or are surrounded by electronics or metal objects, a quiet bowl of salt in a discreet corner can make a real difference in how refreshed you feel in the morning. But not every spot in the bedroom is a good place for salt. Some locations may seem hidden, but are far from ideal, like directly under the bed or too close to the headboard. These are zones where the body's energy field is most active, and they are not suitable for absorbing extra energy. Instead, choose calmer, less active spots like behind a cabinet door, in a far corner at the foot of the bed, or along a wall with no direct light. A clean bowl of salt in a porcelain or glass dish, with or without water depending on the room's humidity, will both soften the energy flow and lightly regulate the moisture in the air, making the space feel lighter and less stuffy at night. You do not need a bunch of Feng Shui items in your bedroom, just a bit of thoughtfulness in how you choose and place them. A single bowl of clean, quietly placed salt can create a sense of calm clarity. When salt gently purifies the room's energy, your bedroom becomes a space that feels truly peaceful, where you can sense protection and care. What matters is not how it looks, but the intention behind caring for your own resting space. Because when your bedroom energy is calm and steady, your sleep improves, and so does your mental clarity and emotional balance for the day ahead. The fourth location, the kitchen. The kitchen is where the energy of fire and water meet, a space that nourishes the body while also reflecting how the family cares for and connects with one another. In Feng Shui, the kitchen is not just a place to cook, it is the heart of the home, the warm center of life. However, the interaction of heat and moisture in this space often creates invisible tension, small fluctuations in energy that can throw the overall energy field off balance. Placing a bowl of salt discreetly near the stove or sink helps balance these forces, neutralizing excess heat, regulating humidity, and keeping the kitchen energy from swinging too far in one direction. Salt in the kitchen is not for seasoning, it is there to keep the space from becoming overloaded with leftover energy. The stove radiates heat, while the sink is constantly exposed to water, oils, and raw food. This creates a complex energy environment. Placing a small bowl of salt nearby, not too close to the fire or directly next to the water, allows it to absorb the chaotic energy that naturally builds up during cooking. When the energy in the kitchen is calmer, the space feels better to be in. The cook is less irritable, smells seem lighter, and meals feel more relaxed and heartwarming. Salt also helps maintain the state of a clean kitchen, a calm atmosphere. A simple but powerful principle in keeping household energy from being drained by small, everyday tensions. When the kitchen is stable, family relationships tend to flow more easily because the place that nourishes the body, when cared for properly, can also nourish emotional well-being. A bowl of salt might seem simple, but placed in the right spot at the right time, it can become a key energy anchor, balancing fire and water, motion and stillness, care and nourishment. That is not just mystical feng shui, it is the subtle art of intelligently fine-tuning your living space. Remember, salt is not the problem. As long as you avoid risky spots like the center of the living room, under the bed, or near electrical devices, and instead focus on golden spots like the wealth corner, the left of your entrance, the bedroom, and the kitchen, you will start to see the benefits unfold naturally without needing anything flashy or complicated. Before we wrap up, drop a positive affirmation in the comments below. I am ready to shift the energy in my home to welcome abundance and peace into my life. And do not forget to subscribe to Feng Shui Keys right now so you never miss a single Feng Shui tip that can help your family live in prosperity and harmony.